Do you personally dislike homosexuals?
Of course, they are disgusting. What sort of people are they? How can you go? I never knew what they were doing. That's how I've been told recently that what they do is terrible, disgusting. But I was ready to ignore that if there was proof that that's how he's born, abnormal. But now the proof is not there.
Back in 2018, CNN reporter Christiane pressed Kenya's President Kenyatta on the LGBTQ subject, stating that the LGBTQ community just want to have equal rights like all other Kenyans do. She asked him if that is something he aspires for the country. He made it clear that he will not engage in a subject that is of no major importance to the people and the Republic of Kenya. She was so shocked at his response and said that he was going to get himself into trouble, all because he stated that the rights of the LGBTQ community is not important.
In Kenya, to be gay, the LGBT community is illegal. They just want to have equal rights, the same privacy and equality as all other Kenyans do. Is that something that you aspire to for your country?
I want to be very clear, Christiana. I will not engage in a subject that is of no, it is not of any major importance to the people and the Republic of Kenya. This is not an issue, as you would want to put it, of human rights or this. This is an issue of society, of our own base as a culture, as a people, regardless of which community you come from. This is not acceptable. This is not agreeable. This is not about Uhuru Kenyatta saying yes or no. This is an issue that the people of Kenya themselves, who have bestowed upon themselves a constitution, right, after several years, have clearly stated that this is not a subject that they are willing to engage in.
So I think you're going to get yourself into trouble because what you've categorically just stated is that this is not an issue for us, for the Kenyan people, yes. And you don't think that the idea of their privacy, their equality, their rights is important.
This is,
but it's a global issue right now.
It's important to them where they are.
Why is it
not
important to you
that it
as
is
president
not
of the country?
Important to me as the leader of 49 million Kenyans.
I don't know why she's so surprised at his response, because the only rights they have is to have access to basic necessities of life, which is to go to school, college or university, or hold a job, buy a house, eat, drink, sleep, and have access to certain governmental benefits just like anybody else. Their behavior and lifestyle has nothing to do with human rights.
Would you publicly say that people who are LGBT, gay members of the Kenyan population should not be discriminated against, should not be violated, should not be abused?
No Kenyan should be abused, should be, mistreated in any particular. Every Kenyan is protected by law, every single Kenyan. But they also must recognize that their freedoms are also must be taken into the entire context of the society that they live in. Because this is not a question of governments accepting or not accepting. This is a question of society, right?
Currently, it's a legal process.
Yes. And that legal process is based on the society that you live in, and that's why laws are made. So I think that's all I have to say about that particular subject.
After that interview, President William Ruto was elected and was to take office. She did an interview with him and asked him about the statement he made a few years earlier when he said that there was no room for homosexuals in Kenya's society. She asked him if he still stands by that statement. That question shows me that she's hoping that over the past few years, he would have a change of mind towards the LGBTQ community. That's how bad they want the African countries to accept homosexuality, which to me seems very forceful and disgusting.
I want to talk to you about a specific, human rights situation in parts of Africa and including in your own country. You yourself gained worldwide attention a few years ago when you said there was, quote, no room for homosexuality in Kenyan society. I want to know whether you still stand by that.
We have Kenyan law, we have Kenyan constitution, we have our tradition, we have our customs. We will continue to respect other people's customs as they respect our customs and our tradition. I am very clear that we respect everybody and what they believe in, but we also have what we believe in, and we expect to be respected for what we believe in.
That's right. The same way they choose to be homosexuals and to live a certain lifestyle and we don't bother them, the same way they must respect our views on the subjects and don't bother us or try to force it on us. In 2018, then President Barack Obama visited Kenya, and his sole objective was to lecture the leaders to accept homosexuality and the LGBTQ community. But the president and the people was not having it. Over 700 evangelical pastors wrote open letters asking Obama not to talk about the gay agenda. Obama has made previous trips to African countries, urging the governments to respect gay rights. So during that trip, the people were warning him to leave the gay talk in America.
We do not want him to come and talk on homosexuality in Kenya or push us to accepting that, which is against our faith and our culture. Let him talk about development. Let him talk about cooperation. Let him talk about the long-time relationship Kenya has had with America, but about our beliefs and culture, keep off.
Homosexuality is illegal in Kenya and 37 other countries. In fact, to date, in Uganda, those who are accused of aggravated homosexuality could face up to life imprisonment, while first-time offenders could face up to 14 years in jail. After Obama landed in Kenya, it seems he has forgotten about the letters that the evangelical pastors wrote, because he still spoke about homosexuality, trying to convince the government to accept gay rights. This is what he said.
When a government gets in the habit of treating people differently, those habits can spread. If somebody is a law-abiding citizen who is going about their business and working in a job and obeying the traffic signs and doing all the other things that good citizens are supposed to do, and not harming anybody, the idea that they are going to be treated differently or abused because of who they love is wrong. Full stop.
President Kenyatta weighed in on what Obama said and stated that Kenya and America shared a lot of things, but one thing they will not share is the homosexual agenda. He said that it is not right to impose on people things that they don't accept.
Our culture, our societies don't accept. It's very difficult for us to be able to impose on people that which they themselves do not accept. This is why I repeatedly say that for Kenyans today, the issue of gay rights is really a non-issue. We want to focus on other areas that are day-to-day living for our people.
In Kenya, the government tried to ban a group who call themselves the National Gay and Lesbian Human Rights Commission from registering. But the Supreme Court upheld verdicts by the lower court stating that the government could not lawfully refuse to register them. President William Ruto and many other political leaders have condemned the court's conclusion that the Constitution barred discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation.
Honorable Speaker, our laws are quite clear. Our penal code still has outlawed issues to do with homosexuality. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, it was absurd that a good number in the Supreme Court did find it fit to allow a habit or something that is already outlawed under our laws, that you could now allow people to associate. What happens tomorrow, Honorable Speaker, if all the pickpockets in our streets decide now that they have rights as pickpockets, and they want to form the Association of Nairobi Street Pocket Thieves, or even robbers, bank robbers? Tomorrow, robbers may decide that we have certain rights under the Constitution, the right to association. But, Honorable Speaker, the Constitution also says that your rights are limited.
The West has never been a moral authority. These are the people who came and enslaved us. And they came and colonized us. And they came and treated us like animals. And now they want to tell us to behave like animals. The next thing that's going to come up...
Honorable Farah Malim, which animals engage in homosexuality?
No, you're right. I'm sorry. I withdraw that bit. I withdraw that bit in the interest and the respect for the animal kingdom. The animal kingdom never engages in that. God has created a man and a woman. It's there in all the Abrahamic scriptures. It's in Islam. It's in Christianity. It's in Judaism. If we allow them to take over our lives, we have allowed them for far too long for them to exploit us and to dehumanize us as human beings. On this, we will say no. If they're going to come up with the travel, restrictions, keep your country, keep your cultures, keep your nonsense to yourselves.
The president of Uganda, Yoweri Museveni, said in his statement after signing the anti-gay bill that he don't understand how a man cannot be attracted to so much beautiful women, but instead they are attracted to the same sex. He said that this is very serious and that something is really wrong with persons who think like that.
Even now I have not really fully understood it, that you can fail to be attracted to all these beautiful women here and elsewhere, and you are attracted by a man. That's a very serious matter. It means there's something really wrong with you.
He also condemned Western countries for accepting and forcing on them what he called uncultured sexual practices. In his speech, Museveni said Western countries should stop wasting time on humanity by trying to impose their practices on other people. President Museveni has been standing firm against homosexuality and said that he will not allow anyone to lecture Uganda on that subject. He said that Uganda is his house and he will not allow anyone to tell him how to run his house.
Everybody's lecturing us. You should do this, you should do that, you should do that. But this is my house. I know how to run my house. How can you find a married man and you lecture him how to run his house? It's contempt. You cannot see a mature man with a bald head, you see. And you give me a lecture on how to run my house. Sure, I know how to run my house.
The people in Uganda is in full support of the government decision on same-sex relationship, and they gave their opinion on the matter.
Homosexuality is not good in Uganda here because for us, we follow God's orders, whereby God told us to produce and increase his people in the world. So if we do homosexuality, we can't increase more people, we can't create people.
For us as Africans, we don't believe in homosexuality, and I think as an African, he should take his stand and take what the people in Africa stand for, which is non-homosexuality.
Museveni said that he will not become a prostitute for countries who believe in homosexuality. He said that Uganda will not surrender and go against what they believe because other countries are offering them money. So whenever they come to him about homosexuality, he will tell them to shut up.
That's how you become a prostitute. Because you fear sacrifice, you fear difficulties. Somebody says, I will give you money if you become a prostitute. Those who like easy life end up as prostitutes. And that's what they want us to be. They want Africa to be prostitutes. Do what we don't believe in because we want money. And this is what I told them. Whenever they come to me, I say, you please shut up.
Many countries are standing up for what is right and not giving in to pressure from no one. United States have sanctioned countries who refuse to accept homosexuality, which goes to show us how wicked America is. Any form of abomination that America comes up with, they always try to force it on other countries because they believe that if they think something is right, then other countries must believe it also. The scripture says in Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 25 that there is a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. America and all these other countries who accept homosexuality are on the path of death. Homosexuality is wrong, and I don't care what anybody says. The scripture is right. So who is a man to try to change what God put together perfectly? Anyways, I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I do pray that we all continue striving to please God. Please remember to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can be notified when new videos are uploaded. Thanks for watching.